Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hey, what's up? My name is Tanya, and thank you all so much for joining in and watching this video. I don't think that this one I can really have timestamps in, as it's my first video back and I'm just going to be explaining my medical, I guess, leave of absence and what's been going on with me, and that this time it really feels like I think everything is solved, and that hopefully, fingers crossed, this is the last time where there's going to be a long stream of absence. Hopefully, moving forward, there will ever only be, a week or two that I'm gone where it's vacations or like a migraine. Nothing where it is months where I am gone, and I'm going to explain all of that. But first, I just want to say I have missed you guys so incredibly much. This interaction, just reading comments, talking to you guys, having you in my life, like, I have craved this every single day. Just, it has been driving me insane. I think every day I'm like, okay, this is the day I'm going to film. This is the day I'm gonna be like back with my fawn family, and then it didn't happen, and it didn't happen, and it went on and on and on for months on end. And then it was like weeks. I mean, it started off as days and days, and then weeks and weeks, and then months and months, and it started feeling like it was never gonna happen again, even though I knew it would. It was just like the longest struggle. It was so hard. I knew that I had your support, your love, your positive vibes. You guys had your well wishes. You had me in your prayers. I felt it. I felt your love. It was just... You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for standing by me during all of these months. They were extremely difficult months. I'm tearing up already. The emotions still come in waves. I am, for the most part, doing well and pretty much back to my normal self, but I do get hit with emotions from time to time, which I'm going to explain as well. But for the most part, I'm back to my happy self, and I am in a really good place. I'm getting healthier and stronger each day, and it's just been a really long road to recovery. The surgery hit me a lot harder than I expected. Mentally, emotionally, and physically. But I'm just so thankful that I'm back in this chair and I'm back with you guys, and here I am. So just so you guys know, before I jump into anything, I did spend the last 2 weeks taking care of me, because I have gone through hell and back, and I finally am back in the gym after 3 years of being off. The gym has been a huge part of my life. I just turned 33 this year, and I've been a gym fanatic, like, since 18 really, but I started when I was 16, but I've been in dancing and sports and everything you can imagine since I was 3 years old. So activity has been a big part of my life for 30 years. And then for the last 3 years, I have pretty much been bedridden, and then have had the occasional boosts where I've been okay. And the last 2 weeks, I have managed to go from 3 kilometers up to my 10K runs, and I have 3 10K runs under my belt again. So I feel like I'm back to myself as far as the gym is concerned, which feels so freaking wonderful. I can't even begin to tell you. So that is amazing, and I wanted to start with that good news. And everything I'm about to tell you is back under control as well too. So even though it has been a hell of a ride, it's no longer an issue, or it is barely an issue. So I know I'm emotional, and I know things are gonna sound scary, but that's in the past. It has been the past few months. It is not today. Today and the last couple weeks, it's no longer the problem. Now, I know I have a lot of new fawns who found me this year, so I'm gonna give a very quick like backstory, and then I'm gonna jump into what happened over the last few months. So for those of you who don't know, I do have like the worst case, very severe rheumatoid arthritis. I've had it since I was 21. My doctors suspect that it started brewing inside of me when I was 16, but I've been on the highest doses of injectables, Enbrel and methotrexate, as well as a variety of pill form medications since I was 21. And that is a big reason for a lot of my problems. I also suffer from very severe migraines, pretty much every form of migraine on the market. So they hit me in all different ways, and I will vomit for up to 5 days on end, and they go hand in hand with my arthritis. When I have an arthritis flare-up, a migraine happens, then I vomit, then I get dehydrated, then my joints flare up further, then the migraine gets agitated. So it's a very vicious cycle. I also have very severe insomnia, which then causes migraine. You get the circle, what happens. I also have PTSD from an 11-year abusive ex-marriage relationship that I was in, and obviously anxiety from that. And so it's just one big circle of viciousness, and all of the doctors that I have dealt with in my fields, every different specialist I've seen, they all think that these, I also have OCD, which was developed as a form of coping from that 11-year relationship. So they all believe that each of these different diseases, illnesses, whatever term you want to put on it, were all because of that relationship, and have kind of led me to this place in my life where the surgery became necessary and why my health got to the point where it is now. So you're also going to understand some of the problems from my medications as I get to that point in this video because of my arthritis and all of that, as that gets told as well. So you guys already knew that I had a severe case of endometriosis and just random cysts floating throughout my stomach. Because of all of the medications that I'm on, I have known since I was 21 that I am unable to have children. Now that was, I mean, 12 years ago. I've had a long time to come to terms with that fact. And about 2 years ago, Kurt and I, above all odds, got pregnant. And I have a video on that. I do have a playlist that's called something like My Stories, Personal Updates, something like that. And that changed everything. As soon as there was a baby inside of me, it was like my world got turned upside down, and all of a sudden I really did want this baby. And everything that I had in my mind about realizing that I was never going to have a baby got like thrown out the window. And once you have a baby growing inside you, it just all of a sudden changes things. And I was told that I needed to have a medical abortion because Enbrel causes severe medical defects, and there is a very wide range of what it can cause to your baby, as well as arthrotec, and I'm on methotrexate, which causes spontaneous abortions, and it's actually used as a way to abort your baby in France, and it's used as part of chemotherapy. So I'm on very harsh medications. And so my doctor was telling me this, and I was trying to process it, and I didn't want my baby to have to be born with any kind of defect. But then you're juggling, like, you know, all of a sudden there's this baby in you. But I was 6 weeks pregnant, and then out of nowhere I miscarried. So I didn't even get to that stage. But what was even harder than that was that I did not naturally discharge the baby. So that was surgery 1 2 years ago, was that they had to go in and remove the 6-week-old baby because my body just didn't let it go, and that took a really big toll on me. But while they were in there, they discovered that I also had a molar pregnancy, which they had to remove, and then they had to monitor me for cancer for a year to make sure that I didn't develop cancer, which I never did, thank God. And there was something else. Oh, sorry, I had a 5 centimeter cyst on my left ovary, which had also torsioned, which is just like turned over. So the surgery was a very complicated, intensive surgery because they had to remove the baby, they had to remove the molar pregnancy, they had to remove the 5 centimeter cyst, and they had to fix the ovary. And during that process, the doctors suspect that my uterine lining was nicked because my uterine lining grew to be thicker and thicker and thicker over the last 2 years, which led to more problems, endometriosis, and now all of a sudden I have 2 to 3 centimeter cysts floating around in my stomach, which are not a problem right now. If they grow bigger, they will need to be removed. As of right now, they do not need to be removed. So since then, I have had non-stop bleeding. I have bled for about 1.5 years straight. I would have days of a break where I would have spotting, but I never actually went where I'd have like a break from a period. I have had a period for over 1.5 years, and the doctors tried everything possible, and we exhausted everything on the market. So back in March, we had to go through with having a hysterectomy because that was the only thing left to stop the bleeding. And what happens is, when in the past, before that 1.5 years of nonstop bleeding, anytime I had a normal period, I would have a menstrual migraine. But my menstrual migraines were always amplified by my rheumatoid arthritis. So I'd get the migraine, but then all of the arthritis in my neck has never gone into remission. For the most part, I've been in remission. I went from wheelchair to, you guys, most people would never know I have arthritis. I have been called a miracle case by 4 different rheumatologists. They have no idea how I've gone from where I was at to where I am today. But I do have a little bit of joint damage, and you know, when the weather's really bad, when I'm really stressed out, when I'm crying a lot, when I was on my period, it would act up, it would flare up really badly. And periods were one of those times where it did not matter. A period came and I knew to expect a migraine, and generally it came with throwing up. So imagine 1.5 years straight of bleeding and 1.5 years straight of flare-ups in the neck, through the temples, through my head, like all through here would be lumpy, through the sinuses, my whole jaw, all through here, up in here, up in here. You would feel it completely through the eyebrows, all over. I mean, through the forehead. I was in agony. So whenever I was trying to film, it was always difficult, especially because of the bright lights. And I would always try to film around, like aim for a day when I would wake up not in excruciating pain, and put together a video, make the most of that day, and then film for you guys. But I couldn't work out because I was just bleeding nonstop. I couldn't change tampons fast enough, and I never had that problem my whole life. I always had the lightest periods. I was always so active. I always did 10K runs, like 5 days a week. I did sports training with ladders, and so this like completely changed my life. And it was really hard. It was hard on Kurt. It was hard on my family. It was hard on my mom and dad. It was hard on everyone, not just me. It was hard on everybody in my life. So the decision to have the hysterectomy was a big decision, but I knew that I couldn't have children. My eggs were constantly being poisoned, so freezing my eggs wasn't a viable option anyway. And so we went for it, and my doctors were able to save my ovaries, so I wasn't going to go into early menopause right out the gate. They said I will end up going into menopause earlier than the average person, but I'm not going into menopause right now. They had to remove the uterus, my cervix, and my fallopian tubes. There were issues with my uterus and my cervix when they did biopsies, but my fallopian tubes were healthy. I don't want to read the issues that were with my uterus and my cervix because it's just gross, to be honest, and it's very detailed, and I'm sharing a lot with you guys. I don't need to share like the nitty-gritty, but the good news is I will not have uterine cancer or cervical cancer or fallopian tube issues ever, because it's gone. So I never have to worry about developing cancers of those organs moving forward, and no more PAPs moving forward, no more bleeding, no more periods. So that is the silver lining to all of this. And because all of the bleeding has stopped, that means no more menstrual migraine flare-ups, which should finally mean that now that my body is balancing itself out, the migraines should completely dissipate and just have, you know, a regular migraine from having, you know, a stressful day or not having a good night's sleep. It should be more of a normal person thing or, you know, like just if I'm having a really bad rheumatoid arthritis flare up because it's raining too much, it's not going to be around the clock anymore. So that part was more of an easy decision, but then I wasn't expecting what was going to happen after the surgery. So they told me it was going to be an 8-week recovery, which 8 weeks sounds like a long time, and it is a long time because 8 weeks is, for me, I had to be on bed rest, and I couldn't lift anything over 5 pounds, and all of my dogs are over 5 pounds, and that was really hard. I know it seems like something so stupid, but it really is. But then it turned into 12 weeks because I did have some complications. And then the 12 weeks started turning into a couple extra weeks. Now, there were a few complications. I started having some liver failure, and the doctors thought that my liver failing was most likely related to the surgery, but they didn't know for sure if it was related to the surgery or if it was because of the chronic use of all of my arthritis medications. So we were playing with me coming off of some of my arthritis medicines, having more blood work, going back on certain ones, having more blood work, lowering dosages, having more blood work, and no matter what we were doing, my liver was showing failure. So then my doctors started talking to me about quality of life versus longevity of life, and that was really scary. I was obviously going to choose quality of life because I would rather have an awesome life but shorter rather than go back to the days when I was in a wheelchair and live until I'm 70 or 80 years old. Good news is my liver is finally back to normal, but I had to live this for like a month where I thought that, you know, possibly a transplant was going to be in my future, but it's not. I was living that. And now my thyroid is not functioning properly. So I'm on thyroid medications because it's underperforming. And I did gain quite a bit of weight over the last 3 months. And by quite a bit of weight, I mean quite a bit of weight. But I am going to get it all under control. I'm not worried about that. It was just something else to add on top of all of this. So what really hit me the hardest though, which I was so not expecting, was the realization that no matter what, I'm sorry, biological children are out of the picture for me for good. And you know, they are nowhere near a cure for arthritis, and there are no new medications that are even up and coming, that are going through trials, where it's even possible that I could come off of these meds, because we have tried me coming off of one medication at a time. We have tried lowering the dosages, and even lowering a dose sends my body into such a flare-up. So my body would not be able to handle coming off of the medications for, over a year. Enough time to clear everything out of my system, get pregnant, carry a baby to term. I wouldn't even be able to hold my own baby because I couldn't. My backstory to my arthritis is that it was so bad that I was seized in such a position that my parents had to actually pry my jaw open to get painkillers into my mouth. They had to help me with like even just taking care of trying to wash my hair and bathe it and then braid it just to keep it, for like a week. So it would just be like not knotted, and I couldn't move. I had to like crawl to the bathroom when I woke up that day. It was terrifying. Terrifying isn't even a strong enough word to describe how my arthritis story started out. And I will tell my whole story one day. I haven't done that yet. And my doctor said that there's a good chance that I would bounce right back to where I was in the beginning, or even worse. So it's not possible. And I knew all that, and I still know all that, but just what it does to you as a woman when you realize that all your lady bits have been removed and you just can't have a baby anymore, and you almost feel less of a woman, even though you're not. You just do. And I had to really work through therapy. And I've been working through therapy because of my ex-husband. Oh, I've been doing that for years now. And I thought for the most part, he's been behind me. And he does not control me anymore. And I'm not a victim. I am a survivor. But all of this just kind of brought up so much. And it hurts. It really hurts. So my depression has been really real. My doctors have been wonderful. My health is a lot better now. I'm on new medications that are helping a lot. One doctor in particular is absolutely incredible, and he has done wonders in helping me cope. And ever since my surgery, he actually thinks that my body had been rejecting my uterus and my cervix almost as if it was like allergic because of the abuse that it endured. And that's why my body kind of hopped back to feeling better afterwards, after the surgery was done. Even though I had other issues, so much of the physical part of me got better really quickly. So that was one theory. And to me, it actually does make sense because, I mean, a third of my life, I was being abused really badly. So I'm just looking at my notes. Sorry, guys. Just I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to miss anything. But I wasn't expecting to cry this much. I guess I needed to get one last good crying session out on camera to let you guys know everything that's been going on, because this is how I was non-stop for 3 months. There were days where I cried all day long until I would fall asleep, and then I would wake up and I would just start crying again, and I couldn't get myself together. I couldn't leave the house. Once I was recovered, I still couldn't get out of bed. I was just hurting emotionally so much. And I know you guys understand. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have also lived through a hysterectomy. And I really hope that if any of you have, that you've been lucky enough to have children. Because even if you don't want kids, or you were like me and you were told that you couldn't, once you have it, it just all of a sudden something clicks and it changes, and then it makes you so heartbroken. It really, from deep down, is just heartbreaking. Now, I am so fortunate to have the most amazing stepdaughters. and I always wanted a girl. And I have 2. And they are growing up to be the most beautiful, amazing, most kind, sweetest, beautiful young ladies. One's about to be 13, the other is 14. My camera shut off. And to be able to, you know, mother them as much as possible and provide for them and buy gifts for them, take care of them, you know, when they have a headache or a boo-boo, you know, birthdays and occasions, and just, I have to blow my nose. 1 second. You definitely did not want that nose blowing on camera, let me tell you. But I am absolutely so blessed to have those 2 in my life. I have watched them grow up since they were, you know, like 6 and 7, which is crazy. I can't believe where the time has gone, but to see how little they were when I met them. And now they're both taller than me, and I have to look up at both of them, especially the 14-year-old because she's 5'10". It's just crazy. And, you know, to see them succeeding and thriving. One of them starting high school this September, or end of August, rather. And it's just crazy. So, I mean, at least I do have them. So I've got, you know, my little mini, my stepgirls. So I am so fortunate, and I spoil them rotten, and I love every bit of it. And I'm a shopaholic, you guys know that. So the fact that I get to buy and buy and buy and buy for those 2 girls makes me the happiest girl in the world, and it makes them very happy too. So, I mean, I have the most amazing parents and the most amazing husband. So between my mom, my dad, my hubby, and my stepgirls, and my in-laws, I really do have such a blessed life. I have the most amazing little furry boys. So my little furry babies are also my little children. And I have the best fawn family in the entire world. This community, the support system, you guys have kept me going, and you've got me through the rough patches, and reading comments when I can has really uplifted me and kept me going. Even though I haven't been able to respond, it really has just put such a smile on my face and lifted my mood, and has really, I promise you, you guys have done more for me than you could ever possibly know. And I want you to know that. I cherish each one of you so, so much. So here is, I have only water in front of me, but cheers to starting over, moving forward, and no more medical issues. Just the odd bumps and bruises from time to time that we all get. Just the odd migraine from time to time, and a great vacation from time to time, but no more actual medical downtime anymore. Just smooth sailing from now on. And I am sorry that this was such an emotional video. I just apparently had more bottled up in me than I was ready for, and now it's all out there, and we're going to move forward with nothing but awesomeness. And I am gonna still have stories to tell you guys. I want you to know everything, you know, arthritis wise. I'm about to start a new migraine preventative. It's a once a month injection. which should also help me go a lot further and have even lesser downtime. There is a lot happening on the back end as far as some goodies hopefully coming next year. We will see. That's all I'm going to say for now, but I will say it's very near and dear to my heart, and we have at least been able to work a little bit on that on the back end while I have been down, so it hasn't been all for nothing. So get excited for that. There will not be any hair or plastic or glass, white fuzzies, black hair, animal hair, human hair, long hair, balls. We won't have any of that. I had to. We have to end this on a funny, happy, positive note. Even though there's nothing positive about that. I had to. But yes, so that does it for this video. And thank you guys again so much for sticking by me and supporting me all the way through this. And stay tuned for great content and awesome things to come. I love you guys so much. I missed you guys so much. And until next time, good night, good morning, wherever you are. I love you all so much. And I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.